back here. Main event, second hour. Appreciate you joining us, having some fun, talking college football, Big 12 Media Day yesterday as well. We'll get into that tomorrow as well with Arizona speaking and pay attention to Cincinnati. I just think Cincinnati's going to handle it a little bit differently than Texas Tech is handling it.
Yeah, you haven't heard much from them, though,
No,
have
they're
you?
smart. They're shutting up. And they'll deal with this probably quietly. We're probably not going to hear a lot about it. And they're just going to be like, what do we got to do to squash this? What do we got to do to move on with our lives? Whereas Texas Tech is like, we'll fight you to the death. Of course, don't forget, join us, TME Media AZ on YouTube, live here. Of course, everything's on demand on YouTube and over at Rumble, rumble.com/user/TME Media over there as well, including the Real Matrix over there, which is a new episode coming up this Friday as well after taking a last Friday off. Everything's on the free podcast system. Follow us live on TME Media AZ as well. Join in on the conference or on the chat here as well on YouTube, like Robert does, and says, funny how they hate that Texas Tech is using NIL when it's legal and the SEC Big Ten skated by when it wasn't legal. Big SEC. See, that's what we're dealing with right now. I'll say this: the SEC hated that the big SEC schools were cheating. Let's say doing stuff squirrely. But the lower tier SEC schools like Vanderbilt and everything also realized how much money they were making from that happening, so they were okay. They were like, the SEC was all on board with what was happening. Whereas in the Big 12, you have that. Not everybody's on board with Texas Tech doing that. Same thing with the Big 12. Northwestern is more than happy with Michigan, Ohio State doing what they need to do to make a ton of money because it benefits Northwestern.
That and therein lies the rub, the fact that, hey, if you get 3 teams in the college football playoff, that fills a lot of
They're not going to out those schools because it hurts them when they do so. They're more conference oriented than I think the Big 12 is right now. That's what I'm getting at from that perspective, right? Ethan said that claw looks good. Ethan did tag me on Twitter as well. Don't forget the chat on YouTube, the text line 623-252-6670, or of course at TME Sports Show on X. Ethan tagged me, my personal account, SMAC500, on a Big 12 logo where the claw was in the background. I think that looks phenomenal. And just the sponsors, I get it. They're sponsoring it, so they need to be in the front. I get it. You get how it works. Trust me, nobody gets it more than a media person on how it works. But the focus should still be the Big 12, not Monster Energy. Unless you're going to rename yourself the Monster Energy Conference.
But again,
I get it.
Are they going after the Steve McCollums of the world?
They just want to get the schools $1 million extra a year.
Yeah. They plaster it all over the place for a couple extra million.
That's just over $1 million per school per year is what is a $20 million deal a year from that perspective as well. We'll talk about World Cup coming up here in a little bit. Dale's got to take off at 9:20 coming up here. Some fantastic games yesterday. Oh, my goodness. I thought the game started later for that Egypt-Argentina game. My dear God, that's why he's the best player to ever play this game. Messi. Woo, leading that comeback yesterday was amazing. Then that Colombia-Swiss game, which was a defensive battle, which I love. That was a fantastic game as well. I can't get enough of this world. I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end. And no games today, folks. You're stuck with your Arizona Diamondbacks today.
Again, just like the NBA playoffs, the fact that, when it's the first round, there's a couple games every night for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden you go in the second round and maybe every other night.
I'm so bummed, man. France, Morocco tomorrow. Friday, Spain and Belgium. Saturday, Norway and England in the morning, and then the afternoon, Argentina, Switzerland. And then there's several days off before the next game. So brace yourself for this.
You'll be in the semifinals after this round?
This is the quarterfinals, right? Yeah. I always get that confused.
Quarterfinals is 8, semi is 4.
The final 4. Then you get your final 2 teams out there.
What's your prognostication?
I still think France is going to win this thing. But Argentina has me worried.
Well, they almost lost last night to Egypt.
I know. I don't disagree with you. But they also showed what they can do and how dangerous they are. No doubt about it. I think France is winning this whole thing. It's just France.
So I guess Pulisic isn't a Messi, huh?
He's Messi, but in an alternate world where Messi's hurt all the time. I saw him on the microphone yesterday. I didn't want to bring that up, but I'll bring it up since you're here. I saw him on the microphone. He's all like, "Well, now I can get healthy now," and he plays in the Italian league, I believe, right? And he's always hurt over there.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, now I can get healthy before I go back to the club soccer and get ready again." And I'm just like, dude, stop. Why are you in front of the microphone?
Right.
Do what good soccer players do. Go back overseas, play for your club team, and we don't ever know you existed here in America. Go do that, would you? It is amazing how they try to force. Remember the Olympics where they had the two guys,
Oh yeah.
and then one of them failed miserably at the Olympics.
Yeah, they were decathletes.
Yeah, something like that. And one of them was terrible.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "You've been forcing this guy down our throat for a year now." And
Put
this
him on
guy's-
Wheaties boxes.
Yeah, this guy sucked.
Yeah.
Like McDonald's ads and everything. That's
Yeah.
how I feel about Pulisic.
They did try to put him
Oh
down
my
on
God.
the
He was the only guy you got to know on this team because it was on every commercial, every ad, every poster was him. He was terrible.
One of the other guys that I remember was Freeman, and that's because his dad played in the NFL.
Because Antonio Freeman is his dad. Only reason you remember that name.
Yeah.
And then you remember Flo because he got red carded and came back. That was a lively discussion yesterday with Bruce Cooper.
Yeah. Oh, Bruce.
Oh, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
D-backs lose yesterday 4-1. After a great game, 8-0, you could see it coming. And then with Zach Gallen on the mound, you could see it coming even more. But forget about Zach Gallen for a minute. How did your bats go from all those hits and all those timely hits in the first game to just nothing yesterday? It's just baffling how this team continues to do. And it happens in baseball. Don't get me wrong. It happens. Happens to every team. But it always happens to the Diamondbacks. And that's where you get frustrated with it, man.
Right.
Now, Zach Gallen did go 6 innings yesterday. His ERA went down, Dale. Down to a 6.34 ERA now.
Kind of interesting. You give up 4 runs in the first inning, take whatever wind you had in your sails out of the game, and again.
Yeah, I mean, he settled down after that, but they sent Brendan Pfaadt down because he always had that crooked inning, right? He was the guy that had to come out of the lineup because he's got to figure out that one inning. Now, Gallen's had more than one bad inning. This was the one we had the one. Just the message that they send to this team and to the fan base, but also to this team of you can't do this, but we're going to let Zach Gallen do it. You can't do this, but we're going to let Perdomo and we're going to let Marte do it. It's got to be frustrating as all hell.
It does. And again, I think I'm trying to figure out this Gallen thing. Because I think it'd be very difficult to just DFA him.
Yeah, you play the game that you play, though, Dale. Like, he woke up and he's got a sore throat. He's going to miss his start.
Maybe he's a guy that won't go along with that because you owe him $20 million and he can raise a ruckus. And I don't know. Because, again, last year at this time, he was playing for a big contract extension and all that, and then things kind of spiraled out of control last year.
But he played better after the trade deadline. Remember, he got a little bit better. It wasn't still great, but he got a little bit better to where, you're like, oh, now all of a sudden now pressure's off him and he's playing for a contract. He's playing better.
Yeah.
So does that happen this year? I don't see it happening. Not the way he's pitching. He's terrible. He got guys to strike out last night, and missed the pitch at least, swinging whiffs. That was good to see. It's more to me. Forget that it's Zach Gallen. You can't forget it's Zach Gallen because he's getting preferential. I'll put it this: he's getting preferential treatment that no other pitcher is getting.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Erod started to, God forbid it doesn't happen, but if Erod started to struggle, Does anybody think they keep throwing him out there? You know they're going to find an excuse to move to something else. There's just something with Gallen. There's something with Pavin Smith. There was something with ADC for a while there. Now they finally moved off of him, right? Tawa's up and down. You can go through this lineup, Dale. Gurriel, there's something with Gurriel. You can go through this lineup where guys are getting preferential treatment when they're not playing well. Not for a week or two, but for months at a time. They're getting preferential treatment, and we're seeing these guys that are having luck and success, like Groover, comes up here, has some success early, all of a sudden, no more playing time. And the guy that's playing every day is Pavin Smith.
Pavin Smith, he of the 149 batting average.
Was he 0 for yesterday? I think
0
he was
for
0 if I
yesterday.
remember right?
Yep.
It is a message being sent that certainly the fan base has caught on. Most of the fan base has caught on. We caught on to it here months ago. But what kind of message is that in the locker room?
Well, here's
if I
the
mess
thing.
up, I'm out of here. But these guys continue to mess up, and they're still on this team.
Here's the thing I keep hearing from Torrey, and it's I trust these guys. Well, what you're going to end up doing if you're afraid to make changes is that you're going to trust these guys right out of a job.
Well, it's just like
Your job.
Yeah.
And again,
This is what I don't get.
you go to Kenny Dillingham, and we just talked about him, and he was willing in season to make a change, a pretty dramatic change.
And his job wasn't on the line last
No.
year. And he still found a way to make changes and improve the team
Yes.
as the season went on.
Yes.
Where's that with Torrey? That's where I've been. That's where I've been the last several years with Torrey. Where's your improvements? Where is it? Which kid that comes up? Now, Corbin Carroll came up and's been, now he struggled at the beginning of last year and he had to work himself out of it. But where's your improvement guys out there? Everybody that comes up and shows success, you end up benching them for the guys you trust that are terrible. This is what I don't understand, Dale. And it's going to my big question here today. If you're Hazen and you're Torrey Lavelle, you know your job's on the line this year. At least Torrey does. When your job's on the line, you expect to see some erratic decisions being made, like almost panic decisions. Torrey's just, everything's good. We're good. Where's your thought and your pride about your job?
Right.
Where is it with them? I can't figure it out. If I was Torrey, Pavin Smith wouldn't see the field anymore. You might not be able to cut him. They might not let you do that. Or you substitute him out in this game because you're in charge of the on-field product.
Right.
You're going to make changes like that to try to save your job, to show your pride that you're trying to do something. Torrey's job is on the line 100%, 1,000% right now. And he's just like, oh, Pavin, have fun, buddy. I trust you.
Yeah.
I trust you, Pavin. I trust you, Tawa.
You know what? It's the same thing that I say, like in football. If you're a defense and they keep running the same play at you and just gashing you, well, change something.
Yeah, exactly.
Guess what? That might not work. I mean, if he sits that Gallen for a start or two, that might not work.
No.
But to just do the same thing over and over and expect different.
It's not just doing the same thing, though. It's saying the same. We have trust in Gallen. We know he's going to work himself out of this.
Yeah.
We know what he's going to do. We know what he's capable of. Yeah. Going out there and getting lit up.
He's gonna fix it next year in Kansas City when he signs for the veteran minimum.
God, I hope he's on the worst team in baseball. I hope he's on the Rockies next year. Gets lit up with those.
And all of a
home runs.
sudden, you throw gems against the Diamondbacks.
He's like McCarthy. He just dominates. This is where I question it. Where's Torrey Lavello's pride? Where's Mike Hazen's pride right now? It just your jobs are on the line. Definitely Torrey. Hazen, you can question that a little bit. But where's your fight? Where's your fight that you want to keep this job? It's not there. And I came to this realization yesterday before the game, and then I'm watching the game, and it's just bugging me even more. You see, anytime your job's on the line, you see it in football a lot where all of a sudden coaches are like, we're benching everybody, and these guys are playing.
Right.
Basketball, same thing. All the starters are out, and we're going to play our bench guys to start the game. Like you're just trying all this random stuff that everybody goes, okay, that ain't gonna work. But at least you're trying something.
Right.
Guess. What's Tory doing to try to change this?
Doesn't seem like
with
anything.
His job on the line. No. And that's where I think my frustration comes into. So here's the question of the day, Dale. We take off. All-Star break is next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you're Hazen, your job's on the line. Is somebody going to step up and make a change in this organization to try to save their job?
Trade deadline's August 3rd.
And I'm not talking trade deadline.
Right.
I'm talking coaching change, manager change, GM change if you're Derek Hall. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but don't you want to see something change during the All-Star break? Because they're going to come back and be the same team again. And we know what this team is, a 500 team who disappoints you. They're like my dad, man. It's always disappointing. That was a joke. 2024, they were 45 and 46 at this point. 2025, they were 45 and 46. 26, this year, they're 45 and 46. Who's going to step up and fight for their job in the second half of this season? Or are they just going to let it roll? Don't you want to see a change? Bench coach, pitching coach, hitting coach, manager. Derek Hall says we're going to go a different direction on GM for the. That'd be a stupid move with the trade deadline coming up, by the way. But don't you want to see a change come somewhere? DFA a guy?
That's, again, I think at this point in the season, changing a third base coach, there was a year, 3 or 4 years ago where the third base coach was running everybody.
And they kept him out there. They kept him for too long, and then Tory was finally forced to make the move.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't notice anything egregious like that right now.
I'm just, to me, this is an opportune time if you're Hazen to say, I got to fight for my job. We got to make a change. This team is 500 team. And Hazen's out there saying how disappointing this team is right now. You want to fight for your job, make a bold change for the second half of the year. It might not improve, Dale. It might not improve.
But
we know what we know what's going to happen if they don't make any changes.
Right.
So is somebody, but I mean by a position, Tory could get rid of a coach, is what I'm getting at. If he show he's going to fight for his job. Our batting is struggling. We're going to make a change, an operational change in our hitting coach and our hitting style, and bring a fresh voice in. Something as simple as that. But who is going to fight for the second half of the season? Because we know what they are.
They're perfectly average.
I know the answer to this, Dale. They're going to keep doing what they're doing and feed us the bullcrap. But wouldn't it be refreshing if somebody fought for their job? It might not work out. It might be worse. But they're all going to unemployment right now. So why not try something? The lack of effort to save your job. They're like a couple that's been married for 50 years. And I'm not referring to Hellestrace here because they're just madly in love with each other. But they just go through the motions because they're like, it's too rough. I can't get rid of him. I'll just wait till he dies. It's just I'm just so used to him being around.
It's like that.
I feel like Tory's Tory's just like, I'm a Diamondbacks manager. That's what I do. Until they tell me otherwise. Whatever. Who cares? He's just content to be here. I want to see somebody fight. So keep that in mind going into when you leave here. Should we see what the All-Star, but the perfect time to do it is next week. Should we see something? I don't think
and I think a DFA, I think like a Pavin Smith, if you want to talk about the pitcher last night, you make a move that it would send a little shockwave through the locker room.
Yeah, gotta send.
Yeah,
sending down ADC doesn't send a shock message to bring up James McCann. They need to do something. Who's going to do something drastic to show they're trying to save their job? It needs to be done at the All-Star break. So who's going to do it? The answer is nobody.
Steve McCullen.
Dale Hellestrace, get out of here and go play some golf. Go beat those old men.
Hey, you give yourself 25, 30 minutes of soccer, Steve. Soccer. Messi. Forever.
I got some more baseball. You talk about Dion again. He's selfish.
Oh, you didn't? Did you record his interview?
No. Oh, I did. There was just, he's not a fun guy to watch, isn't he?
Prime. I'm Prime.
I don't find him enjoyable.
We need to come up with a nickname for you, Steve. Are you Prime Time?
No, I got 1,000 nicknames. Big Steve. Morning Time. Morning Drive. Dale, get out of here. Come on back, folks. I'll get you the rest of the way. And we're back here, main event here on this Wednesday. Got to remember what day this is here, as I'm all confused anymore with the vacation last week. And Dales takes off playing some golf today, and hopefully he stays hydrated out there with the, of course, outrageous temperatures we're having out there as well. And I'll get you the rest of the show. Don't forget, tomorrow, just me and Dale tomorrow. We're going to end the show a little bit early tomorrow, about 9:45. Just giving you a heads up. Plan your day around it, of course. But I'd be and Ethan have an appointment at 10:15 over in Mesa. We've got to get to. Nothing bad. It's actually a good thing. It's for his future there. So we got to get over to that. So we'll end tomorrow about 9:45, and then of course we're normally off on Fridays at this time of year. Doing that this year, and well, we're going to come in this Friday as well. We're going to be live when Lou comes in. He's going to come on remote. We're going to do him on Friday. He's out of town, coming back tomorrow on his normal Thursday show. So we will be doing just a Lou show on Friday. Me and Lou a remote as well. Right now the plan is 9:00 because he's traveling in. If it changes, I'll definitely get it posted on the TME X site as well as on TME Media AZ that you want to be following as well. Robert says, are the Columbia guys that miss kicks still alive? Yeah, I like how that stigma, what was that, the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, when own goal, and then, of course, some crazy person in Columbia, ended that guy's life for doing that on goal for Columbia. I like how that's still a thing around Columbia as well. That was just fantastic defensive game yesterday. I enjoyed it so much. We'll talk about World Cup here coming up as well, but the other thing I want to talk about on Diamondbacks that we didn't get to with Dale, Robert says, did you see Gallen's face in the dugout when Torrey was talking to him? Looked like he couldn't care less what he had to say. Not only did we pick up on that, Robert, you and me and a lot of other people pick up on that. Did you see, like, the Diamondbacks have rules and stuff on when they're allowed to challenge? And Perdomo challenged that pitch early in the game. So you have that side of it. And Steve Berthiaume. Now, I watched the broadcast on MLB, is where I watch it at. I pay for the service and I watch it there to get it when I travel or I'm on the road or whatever. And that gives me the option of listening to a radio broadcast or TV. And I usually choose the radio broadcast. So I did not hear this live. I heard about it afterwards. But Steve Berthiaume lost his mind, right? And basically excoriated Perdomo for challenging that pitch in that moment. It was the wrong place to challenge it, no doubt about it. It was the wrong. He ended up winning the challenge, and then he next pitch hit to an out. So it was a wasted. Even though he won it, it was a wasted challenge. Wrong moment to challenge. You should never do that, regardless of your club's policy and stuff. So Seaberthium's not wrong on whether it was the wrong time to challenge it, etc. But the broadcast crew went way out of its way to complain about a player challenging this in the wrong moment. I listened to the audio afterwards, and it was shocking how out of the way Seaberthium went to complain about that challenge. Then you've got the facial expression when Torrey's talking to Gallen. You've seen it with some other players this year as well. We know Marte doesn't always listen to him. We know that. We do. We've questioned it in years past. They're not listening to Torey Lovello, are they? Are they toning out their manager? Are they not listening to him? That's a legit question here, folks, moving forward. And a lot of that, in my opinion, I'm not in the locker room, and people that are in the locker room swear this isn't the case, but they wouldn't know. They're not in the locker room in those private moments and things to that. They're in the locker room when it's open to them. Players on their best behavior and stuff like that. Right? But again, it goes back to what we were talking about before that break with Dale. The constant favoritism is what I'm going to call it. The trusting of Zach Gallen, the trusting of Pavin Smith, the constant, we're going to keep running them out there. We know what they can do. We trust them comments coming, not just from Torey Lovello. Derek Hall said it last week. The comments, think about last year when the Ketel Marte stuff came up. All of that in that locker room. The fact that the Marte stuff keeps getting leaked to reporters and not handled internally. We've questioned if there's an internal locker room issue. We're not saying it's terrible and bad where nobody wants to come and play and stuff like that. That might be the case, though. But they're tuning out the coaching staff. They're just doing what they want to do at this point. It's a legitimate question, folks. Now we'll find out more about it and things to that effect. But it's a legitimate question. In that moment, I can understand Zach Gallen being upset that he gave up the 4 runs in the first and then pitched well for the other 5 innings. I can understand him being upset when Corey's talking to him and kind of, glazing over while he's talking to him. In that moment, I can understand that. But on the same day that the broadcast coming out and excoriating a player for doing it was a bad challenge, folks. He won it, but it was a stupid time to challenge. And the Diamondbacks have rules on not challenging in that situation. You challenge in that moment because you're not afraid of the repercussions when you get back to the dugout. Fines, conversations. You're not afraid of them. That's when you challenge like that. I watch a lot of other baseball out there. Nobody on the Milwaukee Brewers is doing that because they know when they get back in there, Pat Murphy's going to have something to say to them, and they don't want to face it. Just as an example. Same thing on the that goes for star players. We've kind of questioned it, but there's no proof of it. We've kind of questioned the play on the Diamondbacks these last couple of years has been tuning out the coaching staff. But there's been no proof of it. People that are in that locker room covering them have told me and been public about there's nothing going on in this locker room. This locker room is solid. But don't let your eyes tell you, don't listen to them tell you what your eyes are telling you and what your ears are telling you. There's something going on here. And anytime a broadcaster, especially a Diamondbacks broadcaster, who gets handed notes during a game on what he's supposed to be talking about, they get told what to talk about and what not to talk about to make the Diamondbacks look favorable. And he's excoriating a player. He's talking about a player and going on for 5 minutes about that player challenging a pitch, that means Berthume has the okay to attack a player and go after a player for that. Why? Defend the manager and the organizational side of it and go after the player instead. Make no mistake about it. That's what happened yesterday with that play. Broadcasts are openly challenging and calling out a player for a challenge. That only happens when you're allowed to do it. The organization is changing. And I brought up that take before. Robert said about the All-Star game. Who's going to fight for their job? Because right now we know Torrey's gone if they don't make the playoffs, right? We all think Torrey's gone if he doesn't make the playoffs. He ain't making the playoffs the way this team's playing. They're not. Is Hazen going to be around? Or are they going to get rid of Hazen in this moment as well? Use the advantage to reset the whole team. So is Hazen's job on the line? You're not, that one we're a little unsure of. But I can tell you this, if Hazen, they don't make the playoffs again this year, can Hazen blame, Torrey? Absolutely. Am ownership going to agree with it? Debatable. Who's going to make the changes to try to change something during the All-Star break? Perfect time to do it. 4 days off, you can make adjustments, you can make the changes, you can have players move around, practice, etc. If they come back with the same team, the ownership is then content. We're trying to figure out, and here on this program, we've been trying to configure out, if I can talk, we've been trying to figure out how high it goes in the organization. Torrey and Hazen are in on it with the apathy around this program and the way they play. They're solely responsible for those two play. Those two guys are. We're trying to figure out, does it go to Derek Hall? Does it go to the owner, Ken Kendrick? Still an unknown in my eyes. Derek Hall went on a broadcast and defended Zach Gallen last week and said he's our guy. We've never thought about moving him on. Is that just bloviating from the president of the organization? Because he's not going to throw a manager under the bus or anything of that publicly. Or is he complacent with the complacency in the 500 team of the Diamondbacks? I'm telling you guys, the reason why I'm frustrated, I won't speak for you, the reason why I'm frustrated with the Diamondbacks is simple. A ton of talent and underperforming to epic levels. And I don't think a manager change during the All-Star break is going to all of a sudden get you a blip and you're going to go on a huge run. But we know keeping the manager here means you're not going to do that. I'm not saying chasing Hazen before the trade deadline is going to all of a sudden command better trades and sell-offs and stuff to that effect. But we know what's going to happen if he does stay here. Interesting. Just something food for thought for you guys out there is all I'm trying to do with this point. I think they're just going to – this team has been fine with being a 500 team for the last 10 years. They're fine. No desire to be a great team. They're just fine being mediocre. Not going to change now. You'd like it to. Otherwise, they're just working their way into the unemployment line. Some people do that, They're just content. Robert says, Berthume is no different than a certain radio guy spouting Torrey's talking points. Gee, who are you talking about there? The difference is Berthume is paid by the Diamondbacks, and I don't know if they still do it. I know for a while there, they would just walk in the middle of a game and give him talking points on no cards. Or if he said something and went onto a subject he's not supposed to, they go in there and correct him and move him back out of it. I don't know if they still do that. I'm assuming they do as well. But a broadcaster for the team excoriating a hitter for making it. That he won, by the way, so they kept the challenge. But then continuing to talk about it and go after that player for that issue. He only does that when he's comfortable doing it and he knows there's no blowback. Make no mistake about it. But Berthume's not a stupid guy. He's not going to go out there and say stuff to get him fired. He's gonna say what they want him to say. He's not dumb. That's just part of doing that job, folks. That's it. Throw up the NL wild card here as well for me, if you would. Oh wow, Justin Verlander, by the way, has been named to the AL roster as a legend pick for this year's All Star game. Robert Manfred announced that today as well. So legend pick. How'd you like to be still active in Major League Baseball and you're a legend pick for the All Star game? It's pretty funny. Diamondbacks and Padres here, 1-1 in this series. 2 games left in this 4-game series before the Diamondbacks move up to LA to play the Dodgers for 3 before the All Star break. So they're battling it out here at 45 and 46. Diamondbacks are 4-6 in their last 10. Padres are 2-8. I will say this, man. It was nice seeing Miller there as a closer for the Padres. It's just that kid is special. Special kid as a closer there. But right now you're battling it out with your division mate here for 4th place in the wildcard standings. But you notice the trending. Now, plenty of baseball left after the All-Star break here, right? But you also notice the other difference. Diamondbacks and Padres are kind of just stuck here at 45, 46 wins. Everybody else is starting to pull away a little bit, right? 47 for the Nationals, 47 for the Pirates, 47 for the Cardinals. Then, of course, the top 3 are in the 50s now. You are 5 games back, 4.5 games back from that 3rd playing spot by the Marlins, who are still playing well. They dominated June, best team in baseball in June. As you can see there, they've won 4 in a row here in July already here in the last 4 games. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Marlins are on fire. But here's the problem. 500 is not getting you anywhere near the playoffs this year. 5 games over 500 is not going to get you in most likely. Because you're already 4.5 games back from those wild card spots. Plenty of baseball to go, but that's kind of my argument here. You know what this Diamondbacks team is. Derek Hall, Ken Kendrick. You know what this Diamondback team is. Do you want to make a push for the playoffs with the talent you have? Or are you content with just selling your guys come August 3rd? Selling your guys, selling Soroka as he comes back healthy, selling your expiring contracts, and you're fine just being a 500 team for the rest of the year and writing out Torrey's contract at the end and Hazen's contract at the end. Or do you want to try something different? We know the answer. Maybe dreams can't come true, and maybe they'll figure it out on the other side. I don't think so, but maybe we'll get lucky here, folks. What we got to talk about? Hey, really quick on the World Cup. We'll end with the World Cup. No games today, unfortunately. Gets underway again tomorrow with the quarterfinals. France, Morocco tomorrow, 1 p.m. Friday, Spain, Belgium, which is going to be a fantastic game. 2 precision teams here as well. Spain, Belgium is going to be a lot like Spain, Portugal was. If you enjoyed that game, just a epic battle back and forth. Shots on goal. You're going to get good saves. You're going to have good defense. You're going to get offensive chances. It's going to be a low-scoring affair and just a battle there between Spain and Belgium. That's going to be a fun little game to watch on Friday. Then Saturday, you got 2 games. Norway, England is going to be the early game at 2 p.m. Then Argentina, Switzerland coming up at 6 p.m. Switzerland is one of, if you watched that Switzerland-Colombia game yesterday, big defensive battle. If not the 2 best defensive teams in international soccer, definitely 2 of the best. Colombia and Switzerland. Ended up going to the penalty kicks, just goaltenders making saves all game. It was fantastic. Argentina's got a battle ahead of them here against Switzerland's defense and everything. But when you got Messi, it kind of changes your whole style of offense, and you're never out of it. And if you caught that game yesterday, Argentina-Egypt, we got off air and Egypt was up 1-0. I can understand why Egypt's upset after this game. They get a goal call back because of a penalty that happened on the other end of the field like 15 seconds earlier. VAR had to go back and look at it and they let them play on. They scored. They called it back because of something that happened on the other end of the field on a penalty. I can understand soccer has a VAR problem. No doubt about it. My opinion is, as you guys know, replay's supposed to be getting it right regardless. You can argue it got it right by calling that penalty on the other end. He also should have called it dead. So I can understand that. Egypt does end up scoring another goal there, makes it 2-0. And Argentina's just going. I think where Egypt went wrong was they went into defensive mode up 2-0. 2-0. And then anytime you're up by 2-0, it's easy for you to lose momentum in that game. Argentina scored the first goal. All momentum was lost for Egypt. All of a sudden, referee starts booking people with yellow cards that he wasn't doing earlier. I can understand why Egypt's upset after that game. I can. Their coach came out and flat out said he felt that the narrative came out during that game that Argentina needed to win it. I'm not saying that's happening. I think Egypt's to blame for this by their style that they changed to after they went up 2-0 and they couldn't recover from it. But I certainly understand Egypt's feelings. But Argentina wins that game 3-2. Fantastic. They were down 2-0. Argentina was. In the 83rd minute. 3 goals in the last 15 minutes, including stoppage time to win that game. Then you go from that to Switzerland, Colombia. Just a defensive battle between these teams. Shots going off. Goaltenders making unbelievable plays. Headers being blocked out. It was just fantastic. I can't go over enough how much I enjoyed that Switzerland-Colombia game. Argentina-Switzerland is going to be a fun one coming up on Saturday as well. Between those two games yesterday. Like I said, the sad part is no games today. So we got to start getting used to that coming up. Because after the quarterfinals, right? So tomorrow and Friday, France, Morocco, Spain, Belgium. Winner of those two games. They don't play until Tuesday. So you got tomorrow, Thursday, Friday for those two. They don't play until Tuesday, those two teams. Then the championship game is until Sunday. So we get a little bit of a break here coming up. And then Norway, England, Argentina, Switzerland. They both play Saturday, 2 p.m., 6 p.m. They next play on Wednesday. So you got tomorrow, Friday, 1 game each, 2 games on Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday. The following week is the championship game for the World Cup. Man, I'm going to miss this tournament. This has been so much fun. And I don't know, I keep going back and forth. This tournament has been so great. And I watch a lot of World Cup. I watch UEFA, I watch CONCACAF, I watch all that nonsense. This is the most fun I've had watching soccer. Now, is it because it was in the United States? Well, I've seen other games played in the United States. I don't know what it is. Maybe it is that. Maybe it's just simply it's the United States. But the United States is doing what they've done the last 4 World Cups they've been in. They missed 2018. They've gone to the round of 16. It wasn't this exciting as it was before either. So I'm kind of torn on why it is special and things this year compared to other years out there. As well, but it is fun. I'm going to miss it. Going to miss it a lot. But we turn around and we go right into football, right? Hall of Fame game coming up less than a month from now. We'll look forward to Cardinals training camp coming up with no quarterbacks except for Gardner Minshew on that team as well. Yeah. Diamondbacks, by the way, play tonight. Padres 7:10 p.m. from San Diego tonight. Then tomorrow, 6:40 p.m. for them. They're just going up the road there to Dodger Stadium on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the end of the week. Big pitching matchup issues on that Dodgers series coming that way as well. Still have a Zach Gallen problem. Merrill Kelly kind of made you feel better about himself on Saturday with the way he pitched. But still, you got a 2-starter problem with these guys out there. And being Wednesday today, you've got Jose Cabrera back on the mound tonight against Michael King for the Padres. 7 p.m. first pitch. Third time now that Cabrera is going to get a start, and I've liked what he's done in his first 2 games. But now he's on film. Teams are able to break down that movement of his throws. on the road again. San Diego, that crowd, even though that team's scuffling, that crowd's going to be tough. It's going to be fun watching the young kid get out there and see what he can do tonight for your Diamondbacks. But the big story is, regardless of what he does, it's hard to win games when you don't score enough as your opponent. That screwed up my do you know. Let's try that again. Baseball's a very easy sport. It's hard to win games if you don't score more than your opponents. Some would say it's impossible. I'm not as negative as them. I'll give you a 90% chance of winning a game if you don't score more than your opponent. I don't want to be as negative as impossible. So to me, it comes down to the bats. Jump on King early, score some runs. Don't start the game in a negative light where you're down 4-0 or 4-1 in the case of yesterday. Sets a bad precedent out there. Tomorrow you got Merrill Kelly going. Another pitching concern you got as well throughout this up here. You've got a chance, if you win 2 more games in this series, whoever does it, Padres or Diamondback, you got a chance to put some distance here between the team in your division and the wild card standing before the All-Star game. You got to take advantage of it. Coming up is my opinion. You got to take advantage of it. So we'll see tonight as well from that side. Let's check here as we're wrapping up the program here on this Wednesday. Don't forget tomorrow, no Uncle Lou tomorrow. We're going to do the show, me and Dale. Dale's doesn't go do his hit as they're on vacation over there at KUPD tomorrow. But we will be here tomorrow. We're going to go off air about 9:45 tomorrow, just to give you a heads up on the plan, 15 minutes early. Ethan and I have an appointment we got to get to at 10:15 over in Mesa. So we will end a little bit early, but this Friday we're coming in for an hour show with Uncle Lou. He's going to join us remotely. He's been on vacation and going to come in, of course, UFC this weekend as well. It's a numbered event. This is the one where Connor McDavid gets back in the ring, or at least is scheduled to get back into the ring as well for him. Now, the interesting thing about Luke coming in on Friday is it's after the weigh-ins. And, of course, it's McGregor-Holloway this weekend. Other fights on this card are going to be fun. UFC 329 coming up this weekend as well. Paddy Pimblett gets back into the ring against just an absolute killer of a fighter. This dude is impressive. This dude is scary. Just no nonsense. An old, special forces guy for the France military. Benoit Saint-Denis is going up against Paddy Pimblett. I just don't know how. We'll have to ask Lou about this. I just don't know how you don't favor Saint-Denis in this fight over Pimblett. It's just going to be fun to watch. I don't know how you don't favor Holloway in that Conor McGregor fight. They're both favorites, by the way, going into it now. But Mario Bautista, which is, at least he was, an MMA lab fighter up there in Phoenix. He's going against Corey Sandhagen this weekend. This is a full card, so you're going to want to tune in. King Green gets back in the ring this weekend against Terrence McKinney. King Green is the underdog. I like the way King Green fights. I'll have to ask Lou if there's an upset chance here with King Green over Terrence McKinney this weekend as well for this fight. So Lou's going to be on Friday this week. We're going to come in. Right now it's scheduled for 9 o'clock. Unless he changes it to earlier, we're going to come in and do that show on Friday. We'll do it up live like we always do, just that segment. And then, of course, as soon as we're done, we'll get it up on demand. But we get him after weigh-ins, so we'll kind of know his thoughts after weigh-ins. That's why I don't think it'll move earlier, is because he'll want to watch the weigh-ins in the morning and everything. So we'll get kind of his thoughts if there's anything to be. I don't think these are all professional fighters, at least in the main card here, and a lot of the prelims. So I don't think there's going to be any concerns. I guess you can want to see Conor McGregor on the on the scales and how he looks like after his 5-year hiatus. I did see Conor McGregor on the beach over in California. So not me personally. I saw a video of him on the beach. He looked like he was in shape. I'm going to lie to you. I was just walking around out there a couple weeks ago. He looked like he was in shape. So that'll be fun. So Lou's coming on Friday. We're going to come in and do a quick show on Friday with Uncle Lou. So make sure you schedule that and come in and join us for that as well to talk UFC this weekend as well. So Diamondbacks tonight, no World Cup, Big 12 Media Day. Today, Arizona, Brent Brennan gets up there, talks about his program and the expectations for them. I'm looking forward to hearing what they say. Like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm knocking these other coaches. I'm knocking Prime. I'm knocking Deion Sanders. He just made it all about himself yesterday, and that just irks me the wrong way. It's not just because he's Deion Sanders. It's I just making it about himself on the price for the EA Sports just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, like it does. But it is interesting watching the differences between other coaches and then Kenny Dillingham. Man, it is just a difference. I don't know how to explain it if you watch it. So I'm not expecting fire. It's not a knock on Brent Brennan. He's just not that fiery guy like Kenny Dillingham is. But a lot of people are picking Arizona to finish fifth in the Big 12 right now. We're talking USA Today and some other entities. Have them picked in their fourth, fifth, or sixth spot generally going into this. Obviously, Fafita returning with some big receivers coming back. Spivey's back for them, and that defense should be improved this year. It's going to be fascinating to see his comments today as they go into this season as well. So, Big 12 today, and I want to see what happens around Cincinnati with that letter of NCAA sending that letter of investigation to Cincinnati over their dealings with Sorsby when he was there. So I want to see what kind of the talk is around Cincinnati. I don't think it's going to be fiery. I don't think we're going to get new information necessarily, but it'll be interesting to see how they handle it. Because they're going to handle it completely different than Texas Tech. I told you that earlier in the show. Texas Tech was like, let's fight over this. And Cincinnati, I think, is going to bow down a little bit more and just be like, all right, here's what we know. Here's what we did. Let's move on from it. What do we need to do to move on from it? They're going to be a little bit more respectful of the process as opposed to Texas Tech was, I'm guessing. So let's see how that works out as well from that side. I told you publications are starting to do things like, where your team is. Should they sell? Should they not sell? The other day, the Athletic had the Diamondbacks as a hinge team, meaning they could go on a winning streak so they can buy. They could go on a losing streak, which will make them sell. That's kind of that's how they labeled them a few days ago in terms of the Diamondbacks. Well, today they came out with a new article on teams that could sell and things to that stuff. What they say about the Arizona Diamondbacks is pretty simple. We know that their needs are starting pitching. 2 of their 5 are not pitching well and have high ERAs out there. So we know that's a deal. We know they need a left-handed power bat because Pavin Smith ain't in. Sirocco, though, is kind of waking up a little bit. I'm not Sirocco, excuse me. Kepler's starting to wake up a little bit. Just saying. Everybody needs bullpen depth this time of year, so everybody throws that into these things here as well. So can Kepler continue to keep improving at the major league level here? Now, but keep in mind, this is what cracks me up. So Kepler can dominate, go on this big run, get you to the playoffs, and then can't play in the playoffs. But the Athletic here today says if the Diamondbacks buy, they say they're going to focus on relievers, as coming into the thing. Because the expectation is Brandon Pfaadt's going to pitch well for him. You're going to get Sirocco back as well, type of a deal. So that's what they see for the Diamondbacks. They're basically telling you Diamondbacks, at least the Athletic today, in this article says they're going to buy probably some bullpen pitching here coming up. Yeah. I just question if they're a 500 team and they're 4 or 5 out of the wild card, how they're going to buy. They're going to be out of the playoff, outside looking in with the way they're playing. Does the power bat, does relief pitching get you better? I'm not too sure it does. So I don't know. We're starting to see those kind of guesses that are going on out there and people talking about what their style is and everything. So, hey, folks, I appreciate you joining me here for the end of the show. Of course, me and Dale. Dale will be here all show tomorrow. We will wrap up the show a little early tomorrow, about 9:45, so everybody can get out of here to their appointments tomorrow. But we'll be here. Dale will be with me all show. Uncle Lou on Friday at 9 o'clock, remote. We're going to do a Friday show this week with Uncle Lou. Get you ready for UFC this weekend with Conor McGregor, Holloway. The big fights on that. So make sure you join us Friday live. Follow us at TME Media AZ as well. We'll put it out there as well, reminding you where we are. Of course, we'll post everything at TME Media as well for you out there. And appreciate you joining me. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great Wednesday night. Stay cool out there, Arizona, if you're in Arizona. Woo, getting hot. For everybody else and the rest of hopefully, like those of you in Chicago that watch, and Virginia, and Florida, and Georgia, hopefully you guys cool down because you guys had this heat last weekend. Woo, it's brutal. See you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great night.